Hey coach, is imposter syndrome sabotaging your coaching business before it even gets off the ground? If you're sitting there thinking, who am I to charge money for coaching when I'm just getting started as a coach? This video is for you. Here's the truth. You need confidence in order to get experience and clients. So why not start building your confidence today? I've got 5 unusual ideas that actually work to boost your confidence through the roof. Hey coach, I'm Ronnie Noyes and I've been coaching full-time for over 20 years. I'm super confident now, but when I started, not so much. Luckily, I discovered how to build my confidence fast, and that's what you'll learn today. If you're a new coach and have had few, if any, real paying clients yet, you may not feel 100% confident about your coaching, just like me, but there is something you can do to feel confident before you clock those paid hours. Here are the 5 smart ideas to help you go from scared to coach to bring it on. Sneak preview spoiler alert, I'm starting with an exercise that every coach should do at least once, followed by a project that you crafty types will love, then a strategy that gives you a coaching safety net while maximizing client satisfaction, plus a coaching package idea to attract paid clients quickly and easily. And we'll wrap up with a big, scary, hairy challenge for you audacious types out there. Let me walk you through it all step by step. And yes, the time to take notes starts now. Smart idea number 1, the resources inventory exercise. Now, although you may not be aware of it, you have at your disposal a tremendous number of resources that can help you achieve any goal you choose to pursue. These resources are evidence of your competence, your potential, and your past successes. This exercise will help you identify some of those resources and will give you the proof you need that you are indeed equipped to be successful as a coach. This very powerful exercise is a simple resources inventory that you can complete in about 15 minutes. And all you need is a pen and 5 sheets of paper. Yes, you can do this electronically, but you'll lose some of the connection between your brain and your heart if you type instead of handwrite. So for best results, write it out. As you complete the inventory, be honest with yourself and don't worry about bragging or feeling self-conscious. These lists are for your use only. Now don't think too hard, just write what you can, and you can come back to any list later if you get stuck. And oh yeah, we're doing this right now, but you can fast forward if you want to skip ahead to the project. Page 1, as quickly as you can, list brief answers, say words or phrases to the question, what am I naturally good at, have learned to do well, or simply enjoy doing? This is a list of your skills, things that you can do as opposed to who you are. This should be super easy for you, and you may be surprised what you discover or remind yourself about you. Here's a peek at my list for inspiration. When I did this exercise, I wrote that I'm naturally good at, or have learned to do well, or simply enjoy public speaking, networking, creating connections and community, writing, events, organizing and producing and hosting, Scrabble and crosswords, seeing the big picture, holistic visioning, if you will, broadcasting, strategic planning, finding resources and doing research, understanding markets, bringing out the best in others, mentoring others, making complicated ideas easy to understand, and learning new technologies. It's funny, looking at this list, is it any wonder I became a coach? If you enjoy this type of self-assessment, I recommend taking one of the free Holland Code quizzes online to help you get a clearer picture of your top skills and strengths. Now let's move on to page 2. As quickly as you can, list brief answers, say words or phrases, to the question, who or what supports me? This can be people, practices, processes, beliefs, or organizations. The value of this section is that it reminds you how much support you have available, especially during high stress and challenging times like starting a new coaching business. This is the place to identify the support you get from family, friends, and maybe your spiritual or other special interest or social communities. Maybe you have peers or a mastermind group, or a coach or a mentor. Perhaps you participate in a Facebook group for coaches or new business owners, or a coaches association chapter. Maybe you have certain practices like running or yoga or meditation that work for you. You might even have certain books or some sort of educational, inspirational, and motivational material that you turn to for support. Perhaps you have some systems for problem solving or motivation or creativity like morning pages or mind mapping or whatever. The point here is to identify the specific people, practices, processes, beliefs, and organizations that support you so that you don't forget or ignore them or separate yourself from that support. Make a note of that stuff right now. Good job so far. Now let's move on to the next page, page 3. As quickly as you can, list brief answers, words or phrases to the question, what are my success stories and wins from my background, experience, or education? This is a very important inventory because it reminds you of the depth and breadth of your experience. This is where you list your certifications, trainings, degrees, jobs, paid or volunteer, that you've loved, or even significant episodes in your life that shaped who you are today. For me, one significant episode comes from 8th grade when my class was producing the musical Oklahoma to stage for our parents. I so wanted to sing in the chorus, but I was out sick with strep throat and missed my chance to audition. The only way left to participate was to enter the competition to be the set and backdrop designer, which would double as the cover art for the program. I was super disappointed because I had zero talent for drawing and painting. As a matter of fact, the art teacher discouraged me from entering because there were several other students who could actually draw who were entered. But I entered anyway because I loved the movie version of the musical and wanted desperately to be involved. Now, the competition was scheduled to be held in the art room after school one day so that any parents who were tempted to help their kids with their entries would not be able to cheat like that. So when I showed up, the art teacher shook her head and sighed, but allowed me to try. What she didn't know was that I'd done my research at the library, and I looked up stage productions of the musical for inspiration. I found a few backdrops that I thought would work and melded a couple of the design elements together. Then I practiced drawing the picture over and over so I could do it in under an hour, and when I got to the competition, I was ready to art. The kids who were good at drawing spent way too much time detailing their drawings rather than focusing on a concept and doing the broad strokes first and details second, like I did. There was no question I was the worst artist in that room, but I was the only kid to produce a fully realized idea for a great backdrop. And I won that art competition because I was prepared. That was truly one of the most memorable lessons of my early life. Preparation can win over raw talent, and I am super good at preparation. That's why this story is on my list, to remind me of what I can do if I put my mind to it. I'd love to hear your stories. Post them in the comments below so we can all benefit from your lesson learned. Moving on to page 4, as quickly as you can, list brief answers, words or phrases to the question, what personal attributes, qualities, or traits do I have that contribute to my ability to be successful? This is a list about who you are as opposed to the things that you do that we inventoried earlier. We're looking for words that describe you and your character. What words do your family and friends use to describe you? What did your former bosses say they appreciated about you? What traits are you proud of and known for? Are you organized, creative, intuitive, persistent, supportive, knowledgeable about something specific? Are you a motivator, a good communicator, observant, respectful, and a good listener? That sounds like a great coach to me. Write them all down and own it. Know that this is who you are and what you bring to your business, your client relationships, and your coaching style. Now, doesn't that feel good? Yeah, you got this. Okay, now let's get to the final page of the inventory. As quickly as you can, list brief answers, words or phrases to the question, what tools do I have in place now that will help or support me in my business? You can include both tangibles and intangibles on this list, and you can be very flexible in your interpretation of tools. You may want to include things like your electronic tools, such as your payment processor, which helps you accept payments, or your social profiles, which help you show up online, your Zoom account, which gives you a virtual space for client meetings, and so on. You'd be wise to include things like your checklists, templates, scripts, and stuff like that as well. You may also want to list the intellectual property you've created, such as a coaching model or books you've written, and so on. And even stuff like assessments, process tools, and so on that you use with your clients can go on this list. All of this stuff adds up and proves how much time, effort, and commitment you've invested in yourself to prepare yourself to be the best and prepare yourself to coach, which applies to how ready you are to coach right now. Okay, so now that you've done this exercise, how do you feel? Unless you regularly do this sort of inventory, I'm guessing you're feeling pretty good right now because we've reminded you of what you've done, what you're capable of, and how ready you are for the next chapter of success. Good for you. Now let's build on that good feeling, that growing confidence with what's up next. Smart idea number 2, the Sparkle Book Project. A fun and effective way to develop your confidence is by creating a Sparkle Book of the high points of your professional life. What do I mean by a Sparkle Book? It is the documentation of your successes and competence as seen through other people's eyes. The point of this is actually not to impress other people, though, but to remind you of your successes and capabilities, which gives you confidence. When I started out as a coach, I didn't think I had any evidence of my competence as a coach, other than my coach training completion certificate. I struggled doubting my capabilities, and in a moment of inspiration, I looked through my professional portfolio from my former consulting practice, which was full of letters of recommendations, which used to be a thing, from my consulting clients and former employers, as well as samples of my work, a few awards I'd won, and so on. It reminded me that I'd done good work in the past, so there was every reason to believe I'd do good work as a coach. Now, some recruiters call this type of portfolio a brag book, but that name doesn't feel right for me. It's evidence, and it's very powerful, so I call it a Sparkle Book because I like sparkle. Inspired by how my old portfolio raised my confidence, I started my first Sparkle Book right then and there with the brand new coach training certificate. Then I realized that I actually did have even more evidence of my coaching competence and some of the messages from my peer clients, notes from instructors, and so on. Suddenly, I had a small Sparkle Book, and it made me feel like a real coach. As time went on, I added written testimonials, images of reviews, and copies of thank you notes, and stuff like that. Eventually, I started keeping a curated version of my Sparkle Book in my office on a side table so visitors could page through it. Kind of cheesy, I know, but people were always interested and impressed, especially when they recognized content from folks they knew. To be clear, I did ask permission to share the content, and there were a couple of people who weren't comfortable with that, so I didn't use their stuff. I also didn't use any stuff from former clients I wouldn't work with again, and that was less a punitive act than an energetic decision, if you know what I mean. So, building a Sparkle Book, or whatever you want to call it, is fun and reminds you how your clients felt about your work together. Also, those quotes are great for future promotional material, so a double win for you. So how do you create a Sparkle Book to build your confidence right now before you've had a lot of coaching or any coaching clients? If you're just starting out, you might want to start with your coach training certificate plus any feedback from your peer clients that you had. Most of us did some peer-to-peer coaching in our training, and if you got any written feedback like texts or emails or DMs or even posts on social, you can include those in your Sparkle Book. And if you don't have any now, ask them. Most people really want to help and want you to succeed. And of course, you can write feedback and reviews for the folks who coached you too. If you've done any other coaching since training, free or paid, you've probably got some sort of feedback. Again, reviews, emails, or even comments during the session that you'll find in your session transcripts. Maybe someone sent you a thank you note or you got an award. Basically, anything you've got is evidence and can go in your Sparkle Book. Now, if you're a scrapbooker, you know better than I do how to make it. But if you're a civilian like me, you can simply gather up copies or photos of your accomplishments and shove them in a binder. Wondering why a notebook instead of just browsing the content electronically works? Well, first, hard copy makes it easy to review because it's all in one place. Sure, keep everything electronically and definitely print out the best stuff for you to look at when you need a little boosting. Second, it's physical evidence in case you lose stuff in an electronic disaster. It happened to me in 2004. Luckily, I had hard copies of a lot of stuff, but I still miss some of the old stuff. But simple attrition can lose stuff as well. For example, I had a great bunch of reviews on a platform that folded suddenly, and by the time I realized I didn't have copies of those reviews, it was too late to get them. Lesson learned, do not rely on the Wayback Machine to archive this stuff. Make a copy of the best stuff now and save it. Obviously, you don't have to save everything. You might want to curate the best stuff and file by topic, so you don't have to wade through tons of nice but useless reviews like, you rock. Because what you want are specifics, exactly what your clients appreciated about working with you, what transformations they experienced, and so on, not nice but essentially empty flattery. I have a huge electronic archive of quotes, emails, and reviews that are tagged with terms like group coaching, individual coaching, workshops, events, success stories, and specific programs. This was really helpful when putting together success stories and proof for promotional materials, web copy, social content, and so on. But that's for future you. Today you needs tangible evidence of what you've accomplished, how your work has improved the lives of others, and a reminder of just how awesome you really are. The Sparkle Book will make this happen for you. Personal story, my Sparkle Book was a bit of a legend with some of my local clients, and the year I shifted from on-site to 100% virtual work, some of my clients got together and created a Sparkle Book for me. It's priceless. I am deeply grateful and humbled by their kind words. I loved my clients and hope you have clients who love you back like that. Smart idea number 3, the guided preparation strategy. The reason you may not feel confident is probably that you're not 100% sure what coaching with a stranger actually looks like. The solution is to be prepared for each interaction, specifically sessions and consultations. And the best way I've found to be prepared is to use cheat sheets, scripts, and checklists, or whatever you need to navigate these conversations and interactions with confidence. Because using a checklist helps you be in the moment instead of worrying about doing the right thing. If you haven't seen my video about my coaching setup checklist, I strongly recommend taking a peek soon. I share my actual real-life session checklist, and you can use it to inspire your own checklist. You'll be a lot more confident if you are clear about what your coaching sessions actually look like. So that's why I recommend that you use cheat sheets, scripts, and checklists to prepare for, deliver, and follow up your coaching sessions. This includes how to schedule and prepare for each session, as well as what to say in the first 90 seconds of your session to set up your client for success, how to guide the process so your client gets the most value from your time together, and how to close your session so it doesn't run into overtime, and how to trigger the positive afterglow of feeling supported and motivated for your client. And not forgetting what to do after the session, which is an essential part of the coaching package. Because the service doesn't end when you hang up the phone or close Zoom or wave goodbye as they leave. You'll need to follow up with the links and materials the session generated. For example, the recording link, the session summary, and the session transcript need to be delivered to the client. And before you think you're going to remember all this stuff, remember that checklists are cognitive tools that help ensure a consistently high level of performance so that nothing important is overlooked or forgotten, especially in complex interactions like coaching sessions, and especially if you've not yet developed the muscle memory by repetition. I've been coaching for over 20 years and have coached literally hundreds of clients over thousands of hours. And I used a checklist almost every time I coached because I wanted to be 100% confident that I wasn't missing a step and that I was delivering the service that my clients paid for to the best of my ability. My checklist for a variety of coaching tasks gave me more confidence in my ability to coach than almost anything else, because I knew that if I just followed the checklist, I would be doing it right. And so I did. Smart idea number 4, a coaching package. One problem new coaches often have is that they offer too many types of sessions when they're just starting out. And the truth is that you may not have the confidence right now to sell a $3,000 12-session package to the first person who shows up. Maybe you do have the confidence, and if so, good for you. But if you did, I'm not sure you'd be watching this video. Either way, offering small, affordable packages relieves a lot of the pressure you might be feeling as a new coach, and also helps you deliver real results very quickly, which is great for your clients, great for you and your confidence, and really great for reviews and referrals from impressed clients. And let's be honest, for generating revenue really quickly, if that matters to you. You can get a lot of experience by offering an affordable small package of, say, 2 sessions with a specific short-term outcome. This makes it easier for you to sell, easier for your prospects to buy, because it's a smaller financial and energetic commitment, so good for you and good for your clients. When I did this, I offered elevator speech development sessions, which I started as a single 90-minute session, but changed to two 45-minute sessions to allow the client some time to do the work between sessions. The important thing to keep in mind is that the package can't promise too much, but must be valuable enough to be attractive to your market. And once your clients see how much they get accomplished with you, they're more open to setting bigger goals and investing more time, energy, and money in working with you. Your clients will walk away with real results, and you will become confident very quickly as client after client is delighted, posts great reviews, and sends their friends your way. Boom. Smart idea number 5, the Coach in Public Challenge. I warned you this next idea may really intimidate you, which is why I'm framing it as a challenge. But even as a hardcore introvert, I got comfortable with this strategy and did it for years. I coached in front of an audience at live in-person events such as demos, exhibitions, trade shows, association meetings, and live streamed on social. I volunteered to do live coaching sessions at my local business association and networking meetings, and the audience loved it. And not only did this give me huge confidence, it got me clients. I used to do coaching in the round thing with groups of my clients, and I allowed them to bring guests to these meetings. It was very common for those guests to sign up to work with me after they watched me coaching others right there on the spot. The way I started out with this whole coaching in public thing was to hold free teleclasses. Now, this was back before we had webinars, and I did those teleclasses as prospecting events that attracted people who wanted to figure out how to solve a small but significant problem. Now, since I was a marketing coach, I focused on marketing stuff, and messaging in the form of an elevator speech was something I knew I could help people do in about 90 minutes. So I made the small coaching package, as I mentioned a few minutes ago, to have something to sell at these classes. The way I marketed these sessions, besides on my website and article marketing, again, which used to be a thing, was to hold these free intro classes where I explained the reasons why elevator speeches were important, what they were, and I shared my process and my tool for developing them. I would also do a quick 10-minute live coaching demo in the class and wind up offering my elevator speech coaching package to all the folks who enrolled. Coaching live like this not only proved to my market that I knew what I was talking about, it gave me a safe and controlled environment in which to demo my coaching skills and set up the opportunity to make an offer to a motivated and qualified market. Was it scary? Yes. Did I get tons of clients fast? Oh, yes. And did it have other benefits? Yes, yes, yes. I got offers to speak to many groups about elevator speeches, usually live back then, and every time I spoke, I got clients. Now, before you think this is just speaking, not coaching, let me explain that many of these speaking gigs were essentially group coaching because they wanted real results and they wanted the personal interaction and feedback. They wanted the whole coaching experience. So I had to coach right out there in public. As you know, speaking is often an information dump. What I'm talking about is actually doing the coaching right then and there in the wild, so to speak, so everybody sees it. What I used to do was coach volunteers on each one of the 3 aspects of an elevator speech. So my presentations included information, application of that information, and audience participation, and a real takeaway at the end of the process. I highly recommend this model as a way to build your confidence, your credibility, and to get clients fast. You know what they say, if you know something, teach something, and then coach them through the process of applying that information to their personal situation. Okay, I'm the one who says that, but it's 100% valid. So, coaching in front of groups, coaching in public is easier than you think, and it pays off in both confidence and clients. So that's it. 5 unusual ways to build your confidence as a coach. My resources exercise, the Sparkle Book project, the preparation checklist strategy, a coaching package idea, and the live coaching challenge. I've personally done all 5 and loved what they did for me, my confidence as a coach, my reputation, and how they centered my relationship with my clients. Okay, Coach, which one of these will you do first? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching today. I'm Ronnie Noyes, reminding you that today is a great day for coaching.